on today's wrestling news, the most disgusting AEW moment ever.
Sting returning to the WWE, sort of.
Tony Khan teases Kamille's AEW return.
And Goldberg calls out Gunther.
I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Phil Chambers.
And this is the news. Horrible place to start. Spoilers for last night's AEW Dynamite World title match, of course, if you want to avoid this or just not get a bit squeamish. Timestamps in the description below, of course, but we have to talk about the AEW World title street fight that took place on last night's AEW Dynamite in a very snowy Omaha. Before I tell you what's about to happen, I want to also add the little caveat that Jon Moxley drove 11 hours to this show because he couldn't fly due to snow, so he made a real effort to get there and defend his AEW World title against Cope in that street fight.
I wonder if he drove 11 hours home after this.
Oh, I doubt it. Probably like this. Because, usual sort of street fight fair, or AEW street fight fair anyway. They brawl to the ring. Cope attacked Moxley as he was swaggering his way down there and chucked him all over the place. There was table spots, there was chair spots. But there's only one spot that people are talking about, and that involves a spike. Cope pulled it out during the match. The bat board, whatever you want to call it, with big nails on it, basically. Yeah. And they did bits with like him hitting him in the back with it, and I was like, that looks like it would really, really suck to take. But then in a spot that everyone is talking about today, Cope suplexed Mox onto Spike, which impaled him basically. It was stuck in his back. He was like a reverse hedgehog, just like that basically. It got even worse actually because Yuta came down. All the Death Riders returned to get involved in this match. Yuta, Pat, Claudio, Marina Shafir. They were sort of countered by FTR and Willow Nightingale. But yeah, Yuta came down. I was like, I'll help you, Mox. Tried to pull it out and couldn't really. It was disgusting. They even cut away because presumably they were like, we're not going to have any sponsors if you keep showing this. In the end, spoilers, but I told you about that at the beginning, Mox choked out Cope with the Bulldog choke as a result of all the Death Riders interference, and I should say interference from members of the Patriarchy. You had Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne getting involved, probably do good things for their daddy, Christian Cage. As a result of that, Mox choked out Cope, so he advances to AEW Dynasty to defend the world title against Swerve Strickland. He's probably going to have it easy now because Mox is a pincushion. Little bit of a moment post-match as well, I should mention, with Cope and Dax Harwood. You didn't win, you bloody loser. More on that on the Dynamite Review podcast with myself and Michael Sidgwick later on today. WhatCulture Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcast from. But yeah, Phil, what a moment to wake up to this morning.
Yeah, just a bit. It was all over my Twitter timeline. I was like, thanks for those images as soon as I wake up in the morning. The spike thing was one of those weapons that I always assumed. It's like, you know, when like Drew McIntyre got his sword out. It's like, well, you're never going to pay that off. And all we got was like the big swing and it went through the ropes, and that was about as much as it ever escalated. And
they exploded, of course, at WrestleMania.
Of course.
It made a big noise.
Like, I assumed Spike was going to be one of those kind of things where you might get like a little hit in the back.
Yeah, like a light tap or a jab in there.
Whatever it ended up being, the payoff was ultimately a little bit disappointing. It wasn't that. Because my God, it just stuck right into his back. I can see why they did like the suplex, because you're kind of rolling and maybe you like roll over it rather than land on it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that didn't help.
No.
So I don't know what else they could have done that was, it's just grim.
Could have paralysed him. Like, it's
many spikes.
This is the thing, I mean, it's not a strange thing for AEW to do. They've done wild spots before, a bit like when they introduced a flamethrower and you went, well, you're not actually going to use that, and they set someone on fire. They've had people getting syringes in their face and stuff and drinking other people's blood, and Eddie Kingston trying to kill everybody, of course. Classic moment, that. Nice, a bit of an update on him, by the way. I read yesterday that apparently he should be back this summer, which is great news. But yeah, as with these sorts of things, though, of course, it is divided opinion online. Some people are going, oh my God, what a sick spot, I love it. And some people are going, what are you doing? But
it definitely elevated the Mox Cope feud.
It did, yeah. I mean, it was a far better match.
I mean, that's it now. You can forget about the rest of the entire feud and just have that one spot, and you're like, well, that was Mox Cope.
So when they dogged it at Revolution, huh? Well, I'm gonna get stabbed in the back next week. So
and you know what the finish means? It ain't over. So
yes.
There's more to come, probably.
No. Yeah, I'd love to see a video of Renee Paquette watching this spot. That's for
Probably
damn
just
sure.
shaking her head like, not again.
Oh, Jonathan, what are
Knowing
you
that
doing?
she's gonna have to change his bandages in the middle of the night when his blood-soaked back gets stuck to the bed sheets again. But now how many bed sheets that family goes through.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, like, this is the thing is you don't think about, I've often mentioned a long time ago in a video we shot, Phil Chambers hit me over the back with a heavily gimmicked pull cue.
Heavily gimmicked.
It was like a gust of wind would have broken that.
Yeah.
And you snapped it over my back. It was all very safe. I trust a worker like Phil Chambers. I complained about that for about 2 weeks straight, and it barely glanced me.
Yeah, and you didn't have like 20 holes in your back.
Yeah, it's like getting in the shower afterwards.
Everything. Every time you lie down or sit down.
Anytime you do any sort of DIY after that, you got a nail.
You know when you get sunburn on the back of your neck and you put your t-shirt on it? That, but with holes in
I don't
your
think
back.
wrestling's for me, mate. I don't think I'm going to get into it, you know? Oh, disgusting. Let us know your thoughts on it in the comment section below.
Yeah, definitely interested to know what you all think about it. But moving over to WWE and the Hall of Fame. Lex Luger, that's the person, is obviously going in this year, so it obviously boils down to like, who's going to induct everyone? That's where the conversation always ends up. And when you think about Lex Luger's career, there's only really like one person that massively stands out in terms of like lifelong friend, tag team partner, and rival. And it's Sting.
Yeah.
But obviously Sting is still tied to AEW. Apparently he still has some kind of like legend-style deal with AEW. Obviously not an in-ring thing because he retired. But Lex Luger wants Sting for the Hall of Fame. And apparently WWE either have or are about to reach out to see what this actually means in terms of getting Sting to go to the Hall of Fame. Now there's no like word on what the contract says, whether he actually needs AEW's like approval and agreement to do this or not. But you would assume there's some kind of thing in there. If he's got a deal with AEW, you've got to assume that of any wrestling company in the world, there's one thing that they were like, ask us about this.
Yeah.
It's going to be WWE. But yeah, WWE plans to approach him. Apparently as well, Sting was going to be at WrestleMania weekend for other things like appearances and things like that, and that has now been extended, fueling the fire of the potential of Sting inducting Lex Luger. But it's like, is there really anyone else? Maybe a Ric Flair, but the WWE probably don't want that right now.
Yeah, Sting's a lot more of a safer choice. I hope this happens. This is one of those things, like, I get it that sometimes companies are like, no, this person's ours. You can't use them. But for something like this, especially for someone like Lex Luger, who's, you know, I got really emotional watching that clip of him being able to stand up and hug Cody Rhodes when he announced he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's just a wonderful moment, and I agree. I think, you know, if you're going in the Hall of Fame, you should be, within reason, allowed to pick who puts you in. And I don't see too much friction between the two companies over Sting. Like, he's so well liked, such a legendary career, and
it's very much the kind of thing that Tony Khan likes to do as well. That kind of respect for the business, like the respect for the old timers and the legends and things. Like, if Tony Khan suddenly turns around and says, no, Sting, you're not doing that, like, that's a bizarre move when you judge everything else that Tony Khan has done in this kind of round.
Screw you, Sting. Oh, okay.
Screw you and Lex Luger.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen. I hope it does happen. But if, you know, for whatever reason it doesn't come off, I'd like to personally extend an invitation to Sting to our live show in Las Vegas. One way or another, he's going to be making an appearance over WrestleMania weekend because we are going to be at the HyperX Arena. I don't even need to point behind me now. I can just turn around.
Doink, doink.
How can people get their hands on these t-shirts, by the way? They're wonderful.
Well, you can get them online by going to whatculture.com/tickets, or at least you can for the Las Vegas shows because it's a little bit too close to the UK shows because we're going on tour tomorrow.
Jeez!
But if you come to Manchester, Belfast, or Glasgow, you can get t-shirts there. There will be limited amounts. We didn't print that many. So yeah, get your tickets for now. whatculture.com/tickets.
Along with,
have a bloody good day.
Along with, as we're branding it, classic WhatCulture merch.
Classic WhatCulture merch.
The small
Leftover
stuff.
things from all shows.
Yes.
But that will be as a discount. So there you go.
There you go. WhatCulture.com/tickets. Join us for this. It's going to be so much fun. We've been looking forward to this for months now, of course.
Yep.
Not obviously the Las Vegas shows. We'll be keeping on talking talking about that nearer the time. But yeah, tomorrow heading to Manchester, then on to Belfast, and then back to Glasgow on the Monday. So do join us for that. For all the gang, meet and greets are included as part of your tickets if you want to meet us and get photos with us and ask us random wrestling questions. We're all going to be there, including Simon Miller, of course, and all the usual live show good stuff. WhatCulture.com/tickets. And in partnership with us is, of course, Sweet Chin Disco, the best wrestling club night that there is. It is going to be me and Mark Henry on a tour bus tomorrow. Yes, Mark, it's happening. You can't back out now. Joe Hendry's also going to be appearing.
Don't play bones with Mark Henry. I'm going to be so disappointed.
Oh. We should have our own WhatCulture branded version of Bones with our faces on it. But yes, Joe Hendry's going to be there for selected dates as well. But yeah, Mark Henry's going to be DJing not only at the dates mentioned here, Manchester, Belfast and Glasgow. We're also hitting Nottingham, London and Nottingham again? No? Birmingham. If you want tickets for that, just head to dice.fm and you can find all the details on there. It is an amazing night. We obviously did it in London last year. As part of All In, with the appearances from the likes of Swerve and Mercedes and of course Prince Nana and Max Caster. But if you want to join us for that, dice.fm. If you want to join us for this, whatculture.com/tickets.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on now and give you a bit of an update on Kamille and her AEW status. It's been a bit of a weird noise around all this for quite a while now, sort of conspicuous in the absence of mentioning Kamille as part of the Queen of the Ring promotion, of course, within AEW, and she sort of was very rapidly disappeared off television, being attacked backstage after her relationship with Mercedes Moné broke down. But Tony Khan has seemingly opened the door for a major Kamille return, possibly even a match against Megan Bayne, who is going to AEW Dynasty to face timeless Toni Storm for the world title. Tony Khan was a recent guest on the Battleground podcast. You're grounded! Battleground podcast, but yeah. He was asked about Kamille and a match with Megan Bayne, and he said, "It's a great question." I'm not going to do it. It's a great question. We don't know who attacked Kamille. The last time we saw her, she was attacked. We know she had a breakup with Mercedes in their business relationship. Mercedes is flourishing since then. She's done really well on her own, but Kamille, we haven't seen her since she was attacked, and we're not sure what that was or what that was about. I do think it's an interesting thought for sure, and it's something to keep an eye on. That would be a great matchup when Kamille does return to get payback for that attack. It'll be interesting to see who she goes after and what that was. We'd love to see Kamille back in AEW.
Tony Khan not looking after the health and safety of his wrestlers there, though. If he has not even looked into who attacked her, he has no idea what's going on.
Got to be some sort of security
Tony.
footage. I reckon it was Naomi. No, she's killing everyone.
Just going everywhere, why not? Yeah, it'll be good to see Kamille on TV. The sort of Mercedes Moné run was never it, really.
Yeah,
it was just a bit strange.
Failing to run over Chris Statlander, that sort of thing, getting tackled through a paper wall.
Got a little bit off the rails, but I think they can definitely there's definitely an upside to Kamille, and they can do a lot more than what that was.
She's always had that great look, sort of Jade Cargill-esque of just like, Jesus, look at the size of her. And you've got that a little bit now with the Megan Bayne story, as alluded to there by Tony. So I hope we see her back in AEW soon, because she's got such great potential, Kamille, and there was a lot of buzz about her when she first came into the company.
Absolutely, but let us know in the comments below where you want to see her end up. What do you want to see her do in AEW?
Who attacked her, actually? We can reveal it.
Her?
Reveal it. It was either, well, no, not that one, seeing as he is in WWE right now. Okay.
It was Brian Cage, apparently.
Or Austin Gunn.
Good.
So, Kamille, that helps you in your investigation.
That's a good first match either way. Make it a triple threat. Why not?
From a first match to a last match.
Oh.
Segue.
Hello. Because Goldberg has been calling out Gunther. Now, obviously, there's been a bit of teasing about Goldberg and Gunther over the sort of past few months. He was at Bad Blood.
Yes.
Of course. But Goldberg was on the Ariel Helwani show. Talking about his last match in WWE, and there was two little snippets out of this. One we'll get to in a second, but the first one was apparently that Vince promised him a last match because the Roman Reigns match he actually only agreed to about a month before the match, kind of out of the blue, so he didn't have much time to prep for it, and apparently he had COVID.
Oh!
Which he says was not the way to go out, which is quite obvious, which is also a very Vince McMahon move to have Roman Reigns, a guy who specifically left the company because of COVID dangers and worries about that, and then go oh, well, there's Goldberg, he's got COVID, there you go, wrestle him, it's fine.
Fine, he's just got a sniffle.
It's okay. So he obviously, he doesn't want that as his last hurrah in WWE. He wants something that he can actually prepare for. And he has spoken to Paul Levesque, you would assume, and there is some kind of an agreement for a 2025 retirement match.
Ooh.
So when that might end up being, they do have 2 nights of SummerSlam to sell.
Yes.
So that would kind of make sense in a big town. And then he went on to talk about it and saying that Gunther would be a kind of passing of the torch moment. It's like new school versus old school, very much so. He wouldn't turn that down by any stretch of the imagination. You don't ever open your mouth in front of my wife and son negatively about me. So it looks like they're heavily teasing towards Gunther. It seems like Goldberg at least wants Gunther, and that's kind of where they're going with this.
Yeah, there's 2 directions, isn't there, with a final match for Goldberg. You can go the sort of Dolph Ziggler way, which is always fun. Like if you had Dominic Mysterio or whatever.
Get a good fun match where he wins and he's standing tall at the end.
But yeah, the tradition is you go out on your back, you put someone over, and
it's not been the tradition for a while. Well, people say.
But yeah, obviously, I mean, I know why he's done it in sort of kayfabe, but also, I wouldn't say no to one of the best wrestlers on the planet right now wrestling me. No surprise there. I think it's an ideal retirement match for Goldberg, that, and...
he's a safe pair of hands, Gunther.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to chop the crap out of him.
Yeah.
His chest
when he says prepared, you mean just sort of moisturise his chest a bit.
Just maybe like build up tension like kickboxers do, where they like build up a chest callus.
Yeah. I was going to say Gunther could attack his son in the build, but his son's probably like, if he's anything like Kevin Owens' son, he's probably just massive now. Last time we saw him was just like, hey, Dad. Now he's like, get off me, Dad, I'm too cool for all this.
But yeah, I think it'll be a good, fun, kind of smash mouth kind of match, so long as Gunther wins. Come on, guys.
It would be a good thing, because you're like, if we are assuming, and considering what happened on Monday night, maybe not as certain now, that Jey Uso dethrones Gunther, you got to think what he does going forward.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see him do something that's not title related. You know, obviously he did all the IC title stuff, and then it was just like straight in, and he was the perfect, obvious choice for the World Heavyweight Championship. If he,
not like a legend killer run, but like a sort of like a respect run where he kind of like goes through a bunch of people or something. Where like maybe if he did take on the Dominic Mysterios of the world, like anyone that's like disrespecting the sport of professional wrestling.
The ring's sacred.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And then it ends up with, I'll teach you respect from Goldberg or whatever.
Yeah, or he says, you know what, I'm done with wrestling, I want to start my own business. I'm just gonna work with my hands and build doors. That's what I want to do. And Goldberg's like, surprise, bang!
I'll show you what I think of doors.
Yeah, please, one thing. I know you're excited for your last match. Don't concuss yourself just before you go out there, because it will be the last one.
It does help, when you're...
We're all excited. We all get excited, mate. But I was going to say use your head. Not the right phrase.
Not your head.
Anyway, let us know your thoughts on potential last match for Goldberg being Gunther, and everything else we've discussed, as if anyone needs any more encouragement to talk about this spike spot with Mox in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and in the meantime, why not check out this video right here? I don't know what it is, but I'm sure it's great. Bye!
Click, click.